Hello everyone. To verify user data and ensure that the user is genuine, we need to perform a check. Today, we will verify a mini app user in Telegram using JavaScript on the client side and PHP on the server side. It is assumed that you already have a bot created along with a Telegram application and a token obtained during the bot creation process. Let's refer to the official Telegram website for instructions. To connect our application to Telegram, we need to integrate the Telegram Web App.js script. This will provide us with the window telegram.webapp object, which contains various user data. Init data is a string with raw user data that we are advised to use for user verification. Init data unsafe is an object with user data. However, for verification purposes, it is recommended to use init data. There is a guide and a rule for creating the verification check. To correctly format the verification data, we need to process all data from init data, the number and specifics of which are not fixed, except for the hash, which is not included in the data check string but serves as a verification value. All data should be placed into a single line and formatted as key equals value, separated by new line characters. We will send the assembled string along with the hash to our PHP script on the server. The script will generate a secret key based on the token obtained from the botfather. Then, we will obtain a hash of the data we received from JS using the secret key. The final step will be to compare the received hash with the hash from init data to determine whether the user is good or bad. Let's start writing the code. I have prepared 3 files in advance: index.php, validation.js, and validation.php. The index.php file contains the standard HTML page template. We connect our application to Telegram by including the Telegram Web App.js script. Let's check if there are any issues with the script connection. When you refresh the page, even on a local host, you should see data from the connected script in the console. Next, we will include our JS file. In it, we will assemble the data check string, send the data to the server for verification, and receive a result that will indicate whether our user is good or bad. Note that the index.php file is a PHP file. Additionally, the included validation.js has a version added in the form of the time function to avoid disabling caching and to make things easier for beginners. The verification function will run immediately after the page loads. Also, note that the validation.js and validation.php files are located in the core folder. Let's start with the JS file. After the page loads, the function will run asynchronously. We'll declare a constant for the window telegram.webapp object, which becomes available after including the Telegram script. Next, we'll create a constant for URL params and assign it the value of init data from the tgapp object. Since we'll be iterating through the string, we can perform parameter searches directly in the URL. Initially, init data looks like this. It includes the ID, name, and other data, and right there, we see the hash. We will store the hash in a separate constant and remove it from the main string since the hash is the only element not included in the verification string, data check string. Next, we'll sort the data alphabetically. Then, we'll assemble the data into a string in the format key equals value with new line characters added using a for loop. Using iteration, we'll add keys and values from URL params.entries. The entries method returns an iterator with key, value, pairs. Since the final iteration also adds a new line character, we need to remove it. You can use slice 0-1 for this purpose. We now have all the necessary data. 1. A properly formatted string. 2. The hash. Now, we'll combine these into one array. Next, we need to send our data to the server and get a response. We'll use the fetch function for sending the data. The request will be handled by the validation.php file located in the core directory. We'll send the data using the post method. We'll add a header to indicate that the content is JSON. And we'll include the body data in JSON format. With all the data sent, we now need to receive it. We get a response in JSON format. The server response will either be true or false. We'll handle any errors and log them to the console if they occur. Finally, we'll add the result to the HTML. We'll find the element with the ID validation on the page and insert the result into it. Now, let's move on to the server-side PHP part. We'll set the header to indicate that the data is in JSON format. Next, we'll create a variable for our bot token obtained from botfather. We'll create a variable to store the data received from the client and immediately decode it. We'll check for the presence of data and, if it exists, split it into two strings. 1. The data string. 2. The hash string. We will compute the secret key using our token. Then, we'll generate the hash for the data using the obtained key. We'll compare the generated hash with the hash from init data, and based on the comparison result, we'll send either true or false back to the client. Let's test our scripts. Upload them to the hosting server. Now, using a simple browser won't work. Open the application in Telegram. Everything looks good, the user has passed the verification. As a test, let's introduce an error by removing the new line character during data assembly. Upload it to the server. Refresh the page. Now, our user is marked as bad because the hashes don't match. Revert the changes and refresh the page. Our user is good. I have uploaded all the scripts from this video to GitHub. I'll leave the link in the description. Thank you all for watching, and see you in other videos.